Well, good morning, guys. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Um, just let me check the sound here. Yeah, I guess it's fine. So yeah, Wednesday. It's the 18th of June, and today we will have a big news driver. I hope you know about it, and I hope you're kind of prepared for it as well. So the plan for today's action is I will probably just observe the market. I will not engage with the market on New York AM. I will probably just be here observing the market or eventually demo trading. Yeah, we'll probably have to to close the window. Nah, I guess it's fine. So yeah, as I was telling you guys, I will probably just demo trade or eventually just observe, because in FOMC days, which will happen at 2 p.m. or yeah, I guess it's 2 p.m. Yeah, it is. So it is 2 and 2:30 p.m. Usually in days like this, I tend to stay away from the market, or eventually just tape read it and play some demo trades. There's a specific protocol that I will tell you about later to approach FOMC days, and trading at New York AM it's not part of the protocol. But yeah, let's see what we can expect from price action. Even knowing that we will have FOMC, things tend to suffer some manual intervention as well. So what I will resume here, it might probably not happen on a day like this. So keep that in mind. Yeah, for today's action, I have some kind of a mixed feeling about price action. As you can see, it is in the middle of this range. And I have a plan A and a plan B, because what I'm seeing here are two different things depending on the time frame. So looking first at the 1 hour time frame, as you can see here, I kind of feel like we already did what we had to do here downstairs. We have this end walk supporting price, a nice reaction from price, and we are now securing the zone, because we have the end walk here and this bullish fair value gap. So what did price what price did before this? Yeah, it kind of manipulated here, then we came lower. This can eventually be some kind of a manipulation on the higher time frames, and on the hourly, since we have some relative equal highs here, we have this trend line liquidity as well. We can eventually expect a distribution to the upside, but on the lower time frames, you can eventually expect some lower manipulation here, eventually taking Asia low, but I will go there in a couple of minutes. So on a higher time frame, this is kind of what I see. Price is now in between two fair value gaps as well. So the bearish one and the bullish one. It kind of rejected this event horizon, as you can see here, with some kind of displacement to the downside. So it can be a hint that price will not go further up. It will eventually retrace back into this fair value gap. So yeah, it's kind of a mixed feeling here on a higher time frame, but I will take out the AMD schematics, and I will drop down to lower time frames just to see what we will have here. So on the lower time frames, things look a bit different. So we kind of rejected the previous N walk. We kind of rejected the 4 hour not candle, but fair value gap. And then we start to display slower. Didn't make it stop at event horizon. It came right into the fair value gap. And then we start to retrace and react to this fair value gap. And then eventually here on the lower time frames, you can see that Asia, and this is more accurate because it tends to happen on the inside the sessions. So if you can see here, accumulation during Asia, manipulation to the upside during London, and a distribution lower here inside New York AM. So this is why I was feeling some kind of mixed in this market. On lower time frames, I expect we will go for Asia lows. And if you drop down a little bit more, you can see that, yeah, we will probably dig lower, and the bullish bias will have to wait for another time or another day. So I will drop down to the 1 minute just to see what the opening is really doing. It seems like it's displacing to the downside here. So rejecting the hourly fair value gap here. Yeah, 9:30. So the market opened. Yeah, this is the open. So 9:30 open. We still don't have any. We still don't have any first presented fair value gap. Yo, Gorilla, what's up, brother? Yeah, that was what I was talking about. Yeah, I can see lower prices on lower time frames. On the higher time frames, I was kind of mixed. I had kind of a mixed feeling, but yeah, I can see lower prices eventually. Asia lows or previous day low, or even lower. But yeah, since we have FOMC at 2:30 and 2 p.m., I decided not to engage with the market, and yeah, just observe and try to learn something more, because everything that will probably happen will have a high degree of low probability. And yeah, I'm not willing to risk on a low probability market like I used to. So that's why I'm keeping myself disciplined and keeping the protocol, and respect the protocol. I mean, so right now, NQ already took this low here. So let me just grab these a little bit more to the left. The big shaded areas are NWalks, and these are the two PD arrays that price is in between. So we have midnight open, 9:30 open, 8:30 open. We still have event horizon that once again was kind of rejected here. So yeah, the plan here is to observe, learn, and eventually take a demo trade, not do anything on the combine here. So far price came down right at the open. It kind of is trying to react once again on this 1 hour value gap. Let's see if it can offer us some type of a reversal to the upside, or if it will just, yeah, do some ping pong in between bearish and bullish PD arrays. So far, we have an SMT in between NQ and ES. So NQ really dig lower. It really took this low. It really came for the yeah, just let me check here. Yeah, it never came for the Asia low on NQ, but definitely heavier NQ here. So I will not mark this fair value gap here, the 930, because this this is a usual fair value gap that happens due to volatility, open volatility. And what I'm waiting here is to see another fair value gap after the 930 candle, just to mark it as a first presented fair value gap. You can consider this as well for as a normal fair value gap, but the first one, the first presented right after the opening bell, it has some kind of a different weight, you know. It really acts as resistance or eventually as support, and it can really be a pain in the ass whenever you want to see it break through, uh, or it can really help you to support price or act as a support whenever you're searching for something long, or it can eventually act as a pure resistance as you're searching for some kind of a resistance. So yeah, guys, I hope you're doing well today. I hope you have in mind that we will have FOMC later at the first stages of the New York PM session. So everything that happens here in between New York AM and New York PM, it is usually a low probability market. You can still have a bias and still have some kind of idea where price is going, but honestly, whenever you try to play it, you will probably face some kind of resistance, some kind of a strange resistance, and some kind of a erratic price action. You are expecting something, but it can happen, but in a different way that you are expecting. Um, and yeah, that's why I will not interact with the market. I will just observe today and eventually take. If I see something very clear, I might take it, but probably demoing it only. Yeah, so far we dig lower here, right at the open, form some kind of an SMT here on the downside. NQ stretching a bit higher. It really already it presented as a first presented fair value gap, and it kind of inverted it already. So ES is still struggling with this one here. It's not the first presented, it's just a fair value gap, but it's kind of struggling here. Just let me mark the 4-hour candle high and the 4-hour candle low as well. So the 4-hour candle high is 60.55. So 60.55 must be this must be the, just let me check here. But we have another high here at 6 a.m. So this is the high of this actual 4-hour candle. And we have the low here of this actual 4-hour candle. It can be useful as soon as we enter 10 a.m. because 10 a.m. will form another 4-hour candle, and price tends to reprice and seek for eventually buy side liquidity or sell side liquidity. It depends on what the market really wants to do. Yeah, but so far, price climbing to the upside, NQ way stronger than ES. I guess the SMT helped as well, since NQ took a lot of liquidity, while ES is still missing some. Yeah, still no first presented fair value gap here. It might come with this candle here, but this one needs to close a little bit above. We are also approaching the macro hour, as you can see here. So no first presented fair value gap here on ES yet. Yeah, we might consider this one. It's a small one, but if price really closes here, this is the first presented fair value gap. So yeah, it's a tiny one. It's right side by side with the other one, this bearish. Price is just pushing higher here, entering once again on the 1-hour fair value gap. Let's see how price behaves as soon as it reaches the open, the 9:30 open and the 8:30 open. If it works as resistance, or if price tries to gather some support here. We are entering once again the 1-hour fair value gap, the bearish one. We came from the midpoint, as you can see here, of the bullish one here. So price is in between bearish and bullish fair value gap. So that's why it is kind of hard to frame anything, because there's pressure from in this region here, And there is also pressure here in this region, so it's kind of a 50-50 chance here. But so far, we have a nice reaction from the midpoint of the bullish fair value gap. Price really started to drop down as soon as it opened. So this is a typical Judas swing situation where the market is one-sided as soon as it opens. And then somewhere you have some kind of a reversal, and usually the reversal is confirmed in between 950 to 1010. So let's say if we have some kind of a retracement to the downside inside the 950 macro, or if price will just take out these highs and retrace back lower. It can eventually happen since it will face event horizon and the midpoint of the bearish fair value gap here. But so far, price really did a nice run here. Nice run on NQ as well. So keep in mind that it made a SMT. So it really helps to project price in the opposite direction. Let me just take a look at the 1 hour just to see. Yeah, I framed a distribution starting somewhere here, right? At the first minutes of the stream. I told you that this could be the consolidation or accumulation. Here we had the manipulation to the downside, touching the end walk. And somewhere here a distribution to the upside would start. So yeah, I guess at this point the bullish framework is more valid than the bearish one. I guess on the lower time frames, yeah, on the lower time frames it's not that bearish anymore, honestly. Since we have an SMT here below, I guess we can see a continuation to the upside. We have relative equal highs here. We have this trend line liquidity here to the upside as well. But yeah, since it's FOMC day, it's very hard to frame anything with a degree of certainty, honestly. So inside a macro, and price is just pushing to the upside, not giving any retraces at all. So see, this is the type of environment that you face on a FOMC session. It's kind of hard, honestly, to frame anything. Price didn't give us a breaker here. It's just no fair value gap here as well. Just this order block. It never came to the first presented fair value gap here. Yeah, it's hard to frame whenever price is waiting for some type of news driver. Yeah, another push to the upside here. How much did we move already since the first presented fair value gap? Yeah, 12 handles. It's not that much, honestly. It seems like a lot because I'm quite zoomed in, but if you look into this range, it's just 25 handles here. It's not that big of a move. So now I'm curious to see if we will make another high, or if price will start to fall a bit. If I would have to take some measure of retrace here, yeah, I would have waited. I need to wait at least until price reach once again 8:30 open. Oh, excuse me, guys. Price just keep pushing and pushing. So this is the new 4-hour high on this candle. I will just push it to the side and we'll remark it as soon as we hit 10. So pricing into the 1 hour fair value gap without any kind of stop. It stopped right at the top of it. So now I would like to see if price really has the strength to hold somewhere here, or if it will just enter that phase where liquidity is being generated, and yeah, it will come back into equilibrium of the range. It will not stay and will not do anything from there. Let's just see. Yeah, price still keeping um, the push to the upside here. So um, the first plan was actually the most accurate plan, where the bullish bias was in place. So 1 minute before the new 4-hour candle to form, we have so far this is the high, and I guess this will be the high. So now I would like to see if price comes here, takes out this buy side liquidity, and starts to move lower, just to a small retrace or something like that. Because if price really wants to make another retrace before heading higher, it can eventually take out this high, and then we expect a retrace to somewhere near equilibrium. Would not give us anything enticing, but yeah. Yeah, so far price just moved to the upside here. On ES you can, yeah, you can now frame any type of I would say an entry. The only entry was about here, and as soon as it took off it never came back. So you have a continuation, some type of a continuation breaker here, but yeah, not the best thing. So price is starting to retrace here, just like expected. Like we managed to stop right at the top. Let's see how event horizon and the opens act here. Let's see if price will react as soon as it touches equilibrium. Just let me grab the, yeah, this might be the first stage of retrace here. So the high was left here so far. But buy side liquidity here on the pre-open highs was taken. So it can eventually be enough. But so far we are respecting retraces. We are respecting event horizon. Nice reaction here. But I would like to see this candle to close at least inside this fair value gap for some type of a continuation. If it really closes below or below the midpoint of it, I would consider eventually a deeper retrace. We are still inside a macro as well, so this is acting as a inverted fair value gap. Now I want to see price make another high here, close above this high, and as soon as it retouches this high, it would mark like a breaker, a continuation breaker. Look at price action here. It really rejected event horizon here and moved quite fast to the upside. Inverted this one here as well. So it is making another low here, I mean another high here. To count buy side liquidity as well. So right now we have to have in mind that we can eventually face a quite fast movement to the upside here, taking us to the next end walk, or if we see some kind of displacement to the downside, it can eventually be some liquidity purge, which I don't believe. So the plan here is to wait for price to eventually come somewhere here. If price comes back down, not respecting this fair value gap here, I would consider it a purge of liquidity. That's why you have to have that in mind. But seems like a nice reaction from here. So at this point, we would be tagged in. I can eventually switch it to the practice account and take a trade here. So yeah, not the best entry, but it might work. So price trying to retest this type of, I would say this is some type of a breaker continuation. I'm expecting this fair value gap here to not be retested here, but it can. Yeah, so far price respecting the midpoint of this fair value gap here. So yeah, I'm taking a trade on a practice account because it's part of the protocol. I'm not willing to risk it on a combine since we are inside of low probability conditions. So it can be normal to see this trade fail. That's why I'm not risking anything real. I'm just demoing. We are still, as you can see here, we are still inside the macro as well. It's last minutes, but it's still a valid entry. Sometimes the macro can extend to the next one. So nice reaction here from price. We have some liquidity right here, right at these highs. So yeah, this is what you don't want to see. Whenever price is trying to get out of something, which is the 1 hour fair value gap, you want to see a clean run and not price coming back, because this might be some kind of a fake breakout. Yeah, price coming back once again, retesting once again that fair value gap. And as you can see, things are not that great right now, but since we had this clean rejection here at event horizon, I believe that we will probably project price to the next end walk here. So it is acceptable for price to take some time here. I just don't want to see this one getting inverted. If this one gets inverted, my stop will be in danger, and I'm sure about it. But yeah, price is moving. So far, we are on the right side. Price is trying to expand. So once again, a nice reaction here. Price will really willing to keep the upside run. Now I want to see these fair value gaps here starting to be respected. I don't want to see price coming back down here. Otherwise, it can be a 3-tap pattern that are not that I don't want to play. So we have two handles before taking this sell side liquidity here, and looking at price and trying to project price. So far, this is the last leg to the downside, so it's quite a big one. So the projections might be a bit further as well. So yeah, so far, as you can see here, price is really respecting these projections, as you can see. So I will probably move my TP a little bit further. Notice that this is the manipulation leg, so price really came through the manipulation. It kind of stopped right here at -5, -0.5, retraced back to -0, and then another push to the upside, stopping right at -1. So I think the logical targets are -2 here, and eventually -2.5 standard deviation as well. But for that, we have to first reach that analog and then eventually progress into it. So I will start to mark these PD arrays and see if they hold or not. Yeah, this is a double one, so I will stretch this a bit to the downside. There we go. Now I just want to see price taking its time, but always respecting bullish PD arrays, but reaching for these levels here. Yeah, so far not a hard read. We just had to wait for this down leg here. So far, this was a clean read of price. Nice push to the upside. And we are reaching here the NWOG as well. So at this point, buy side liquidity here is taken. And I expecting this at -2.2 standard deviation to fill up as well. So this is the area that can eventually give us a major type of resistance here, the NWOG. So at this point, I will take this OT level out and we'll see where price can eventually retrace next. Yeah, it can eventually come to near to break even. So nice push to the upside here. And we reached or almost reached 1.5 standard deviation. As soon as we hit 1.5 standard deviation, or eventually even the midpoint of the NWOG, I will probably take some out. Let's see how price will react as soon as it closes here. We like to see a close inside the NWOG. That would be perfect. Let's see if we get another push to the upside. If I look into the 2 minutes, 3 minutes, yeah, it's still valid. It's looking good on the 3 minutes. So I might wait for something. Just let me project price on NQ just to see how far NQ already is, since it's running a bit more than ES. So fib imply. Oh no, it's way behind. Yeah, we still have a lot of room on NQ as well. So we can eventually expect for price to keep grinding higher the next 30 minutes until 10:50. We still have some liquidity above on ES, and he's trying to reach for that. it is usual for price as soon as it reaches minus 1.5 standard deviation to uh, act strangely. it's a it usually tends to be a zone where price really wants to keep grinding higher, and you will eventually identify it. Or if it wants to retrace and start to retrace a little bit, that's why this area, the 1.5 standard deviation area, it's a area that takes some time to suppress. So that's why I'm giving some time to price do its own thing. But yeah, this was a clean run here. It's been a while since I've catched a clean run like this, honestly. Yeah, ES grinding a bit higher. In Q, it seemed like in Q was moving a lot, but yeah, ES is really beating in Q on this chase to the upside. So minus 1.5. This is the area where you eventually can take some profits here. I will try to stretch it a bit more. It would make sense for price to reach the midpoint of this end walk here. So I will try to take some partials as soon as it hits the midpoint. But yeah, for those who are watching, I'm trading, as you can see, on a practice account because this is not part of the FOMC protocol. The FOMC protocol usually tells you that the New York AM session is a low probability session, and in the majority of times it is. Um, and yeah, it's just simple math. It's a 1 plus 1 equals 2. So if there's a low probability, and you should not risk in low probability environments, then okay, if you want to play something, just play it on demo, and that's what I'm doing right now. The protocol for FOMC, it really is a specific protocol because it really tells you that you should only play the market 30 minutes after FOMC just does its announcement. So if the announcement it's at 2 p.m., which it's always at 2 p.m., you should wait. You should wait for 2:30 and see what the market has been doing since in the time window in between 2 and 2:30. If the price has been downtrending or uptrending on that time window of 30 minutes, then you should eventually uh, look for if price is in a bearish trend in between that 30 minutes, you should look for some kind of sell side. And if that sell side is taken right after those 30 minutes or a bit before, you can eventually expect price to start to grind higher after those 30 minutes. And the same applies to the opposite. So if price has been grinding higher for the first 30 minutes after FOMC, then you should look for something bearish to happen after 2:30. It usually is like that. So that's the FOMC protocol. The FOMC protocol um, tells you not to play the NY session. If you want to play it before the open, not after the open. That's why I'm taking trades on demo today. It would have been a nice win here on the combine, but yeah, I prefer to stay disciplined to my FOMC protocol than to try it on a combine or real account or whatever, and to get myself hurt on that. Here, I don't hurt myself. I'm just proving that I can read the tape and read what the market is really doing. So as you can see here, 1.5 is taking a bit more time here, but I guess we will eventually seek for at least this midpoint. But since we are here for quite a while, um, I will wait more two or three candles more just to see if price really wants to continue higher. At this point, I will sell. Let me just check here. So we have 7 contracts, 7. It is a lot. So yeah, at this point, I think I will take out 6 contracts and leave a runner. The runner should eventually limit sell of yeah, of 2 and 1 more. Yeah. So at this point, I will just take these contracts out and yeah, put my stop at break even. And now let's see if it wants to stretch until -2 or if it will just retrace a bit before reaching it. So yeah, nice push to the upside here. Price is still moving. Boas, Peter. Tudo bem? És português, presumo, né? Bem-vindo, pá. Uh, yeah, this is, as you can see here, this is a practice account I'm demoing because this is a pre FOMC session and my protocol says that I should not be trading real money on a pre FOMC session. So that's why it's a demo. Um, Otherwise, as you can see here, I if you can see here, yeah, I do trade combine accounts on TopStep. Um, and yeah, and I do it live every day. So the protocol says that I should not touch the markets before 2:30 p.m. And since I have that rule, I need to comply it, and that's why I'm demoing, not taking real many accounts. So price um, came right next to the midpoint of the NWOG, and as I was telling you, this should give us a clean resistance here. So as soon as price approached it, it came down. But I'm expecting eventually to minus 1.5 standard deviation to hold. We can eventually expect price to come down at, let me just check here. Yeah, it is kind of acceptable for price to come and reach for equilibrium, which could stand for minus one standard deviation, eventually a little bit lower because this fair value gap is still open. But yeah, I'm expecting it to go a little bit higher. Nice reaction here. I'm expecting the move to slow down in between this time window here, which can mark eventually a retrace to the downside or eventually a continuation higher. But usually these type of position extends from macro to macro. There we go. Price reached for the midpoint of the walk, and it's now starting some kind of a retrace. I believe this is a retrace, which is allowed to come. Let me just check here. Yeah, it can come eventually to the midpoint, equilibrium, or it can reach deeper as this fair value gap here. That's why I took these partials. And that's why I'm not moving my stop above this fair value gap yet, because I need to give permission for price to do what it needs to do or not leg to the upside. So now I want to see this bearish fair value gap to be disrespected and inverted. This could eventually be another opportunity to enter. But since we are already inside the unwalk, it can eventually not be a good idea. But as you can see, the midpoint, price resisted it for a bit. It came down, retested the lower band of the new week opening gap. It kind of retraced right back, inverting this fair value gap. I want to see and feel that this one will stay like this, and it will give us support for the next push to the upside. Yeah, as you can see here, minus 1.5 standard deviation. I told you some minutes ago, it is normal for price to make some erratic moves here. So give permission for price to do its own thing. Because as soon as it wants to go above 1.5, it usually does it with haste, with aggression. But it will take some time to price will organize itself to generate more liquidity just before moving to the upside. We are now approaching 1050, which is the next macro. So I believe this move will probably slow down at this point, and we will have to see and evaluate if the market still wants to go higher or if it will stay here for a long time, generating more liquidity and manipulate to the downside and then stretch once again to the upside. This is what I want to see as soon as we enter 1050. The willingness to price, continue higher or offer a simple type of retrace. Hmm. Yeah, so far I'm just waiting. I need to see. I believe this is the manipulation already. I believe it. And now I just need to see another push to the upside, and see how price really wants to react as soon as we hit this bearish fair value gap here. So another move to the downside. So once again, looking at OT levels, it is permissible for price to go lower here, trying to reach for 0.5 or eventually 0.62, retesting this fair value gap, and then go for another run to the upside. Of course, this will take some time, and you have to be willing to stay that long. Or it can eventually come here really fast, do some type of, this is what I would like to see, price coming here, boom, and then as soon as it hits equilibrium, it displaces on the other side, and boom, it will be quite quick. But it is permissible also for price to just, yeah, just do this, come here, do another down leg, and it seems like it wants to do something like that, but just leave it. He can now do whatever he wants. Yeah, but as I told you before, minus 1.5 standard deviation can be that region where price just starts to act erratically, downside, upside, downside, upside, downside, upside. And yeah, we really have to wait for price to do its own thing, to generate more liquidity, eventually to manipulate to the downside first, and then expect some kind of continuation to the upside, because I'm still waiting for price to come at least until -2 standard deviation. It can give us a higher target, but I will not wait for that. I'm content with -1, -2 standard deviation, I mean. So, so yeah, just let's wait and see what price really wants to do. So far, a retrace is needed. So far we can accept a retrace. Even if price retraces down, look at these relative equal highs here. They can eventually be saved for some later action. So yeah. So guys, those who are watching on YouTube or eventually on Twitch as well, since I stream on both at the same time. If you have any questions, yeah, just shoot them in the chat, and I will try to answer them. You can ask me anything you want. I will try to answer to them. Yeah, price starting a retrace here. We are losing the NWAG. It took a really long time here, losing the NWAG, and then eventually shoot back up. That's what I would like to see from price, or a continuation higher, since my main bias this morning was bullish. As you if you looked into the first minutes of the stream, I was telling you that this might be the manipulation, the accumulation, I'm sorry. Then we had the manipulation to the downside, right to the NWAG, and we could eventually face an expansion to the upside. So that's what really happened, an expansion to the upside. I guess this expansion is not done yet. I guess this is just the first stage of expansion. Um, since price, yeah, it kind of manipulated, consolidated down here. First stage of the expansion, then we will eventually consolidate a bit more. And then we will have this second stage of expansion, trying to eventually go for these relative equal highs, and later eventually for these highs here as well. So let's wait and see what price really has to offer us. Let me just check how much price just moved here. Yeah, 15 handles. Not that much, honestly. Not that much, but was enough. So no SMTs at the lows here, so I believe price can go a little bit lower before moving higher. Let's just see. Yeah, watch how price just um started to slow down as soon as we approached the next macro. So kind of it's not coincidence at all. Things are programmed in a way, and some type of algorithm is just ruling this and saying what really will happen. And this is still a bearish one, but I don't think this needs to be here. So far, the PDO rate that is being respected is this one. So this bearish one. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, just shoot them in the chat. You can do it as long as I see them. Yeah, price still consolidating here. There's nothing that we can do right now. So at this point, I'm just waiting for price to reprice itself, to take out some of these inefficiencies that are here. So price never traded into some of these inefficiencies that are here. So I'm allowing price to come back a little bit. I will not interact with shorts here because these type of shorts, when you have some type of a retrace. These type of shorts tend to be moving like this. And yeah, this is not what you want when you interact with price. What you want is price moving higher and retracing just a bit and move in a straight way. This is what you want from price, and not this zigzag that can eventually, yeah, you can eventually take out some measure of profit from this. But as soon as it touches it, or eventually it almost touches it, and then boom, you will lose your profit instantly. So that's why I don't like to play retraces. I prefer to stay away from them, and they can eventually happen in a fast way as well. They can boom to the downside, but 1 minute after it is already up above. So we are still inside the macro. I'm still expecting something to happen, but if price does not give me what I want in between 11 and 11:10, which is now, um, yeah, I might leave it like this, or I can eventually close the full position and okay, that's it. Yeah, so for those who turned in right now to the stream and just missed the last hour of the stream, yeah, I'm just taking this on a practice account since it is the NYAM session pre FOMC, and the protocol for FOMC days is very clear that you should not interact with New York AM session, since it might be a low probability condition session, and that's why you see me trading here on a practice account today. So even despite knowing that today was a beautiful day on price action, it really was very clean. But yeah, this is a day where you should be disciplined, and even if you catch something very clean, yeah, just demo it or tape read it or observe it and take notes about it, but do not play it on real accounts or eventually funded accounts or yeah, whatever. I prefer to stay disciplined and knowing that okay, even on these types of days I can read price, um, which is not normal because on days like this reading price is always tricky. um, but yeah, it happens. It happens to have a good and clean day on a prohibited day. um, but it will not be like this uh, every time you turn your account on a prohibited day. It usually tends to, yeah, to be like, okay, next month, this day gave us a good PA. I made a good profit on a demo account. Okay, I will try it on a real account. This month it will work. And usually those are the type of days that, oh boy, they will hurt you a lot, because those are days that will teach you not to mess with days like this. That's why I decided to stay disciplined and not try to move this into a prop account or funded account or real account or whatever you want to call it. So let's see. Macro hour here. Just wait a little bit more just to see how price will face equilibrium. I'm curious to see it. So far, yeah, no SMT, but a lot of liquidity. I can see a lot of liquidity. A lot of stops are positioned right here and right here. So this can be two things. It will be a nice run to the downside, or the run to the downside will eventually end up at equilibrium or near 0.6, and it will start a run to the upside soon. Yeah, but so far the bearish narrative for retracement is in play. As you can see here, bearish PD arrays are being respected, so bearish order flow can eventually flow from this. But as you can see, you have one big red candle, just like here, one big red candle, 2 or 3 green ones. 2 red candles, a lot of green ones. 1 red candle, and I'm expecting some 2, 3 green candles. And then another. That's not what you want to see on price. You want to get into these quick moves to the upside, because this will take you a lot of mental capital from this price action. It will take you a lot of mental capital and a lot of time. And yeah, imagine if you were short here. Yeah, it was acceptable. Imagine you 2 minutes with a happy and smiley face, and then a lot of time, just like 20 minutes, just to, oh my god, will my stop get hit or not? That's not what you want. Boas, Mateus. Tudo bem? Um, que corretora eu uso? Que corretora eu uso? Epá, eu não uso corretora neste momento, eu estou a usar próprio firms. Portanto, aquilo que tu vês aqui é TopStep. Eles têm basicamente uma corretora própria, é uma prop firm. Portanto, eles estão ligados à CME, que é a que regulariza os futuros, e então é basicamente isso. Em termos de corretora, não posso dizer que estou associado a nenhuma corretora neste momento. Eu vou descrever isto, caso não estejas a ouvir. So yeah, people try to ask me about brokers and anything like that. Well, honestly, it depends on what you trade. If you trade forex, commodities, or something like that, you really need a broker, right? And there's plenty of brokers, and yeah, I'm not the specialist on brokers, honestly, because I only trade futures right now, and the future business is all regulated by. It's not a broker. You cannot consider it a broker, but it's all regulated by the CME group. So everybody who's selling you or everybody who's inviting you to trade futures, um, they will use the CME group data. So the benefit, what's the benefit of it, right? The benefit is that when you are with a broker, your broker has a price for an asset or for a forex pair or wherever. And if you look into another broker, the price is different and the leverage that you can use is different. The spreads are different. Everything is different, right? And when you're trading futures, the future business does not allow different prices, does not allow different spreads. It does not allow the slippage that the forex or other brokers uh, sometimes put into place. So the futures market is a much more regulated market, with the same spreads, with the same price, with the same everything. You will not have the problem that you will have if you're playing with forex. If you're playing with forex on a 1 minute chart, sometimes okay, imagine that price is somewhere here on this line, right? And then a candle trades here, trades into this, and as soon as it wicks here, you hit the buy button, right? If you're trading the futures, the buy, your position will get opened right here where you just pushed your button on the PC. But on forex or commodities or wherever, that's not futures. Um, you have to put into account that you will pay something and your position might get open here. Or if you open it with some kind of a slippage, your position will be open here. So this does not happen on futures. And that's why I'm trading futures, and I think it's the most I think that for me that I use 1 minute time frames, I think that's the most beneficial thing that I have with um, playing with futures and not with other things. Olha, Mateus, vou-te resumir isto muito rápido. Estive a falar em português, eu depois faço a coisa em inglês. Um, Esquece tudo o que falam sobre ICT. Eu aprendi ICT diretamente com o canal dele. Portanto, não fui ver aqueles cursos rápidos e aprendo ICT em 5 minutos e não sei o que, não sei o que mais. Pá, isso vai faltar sempre alguma coisa. Agora, que é difícil ouvir aquilo e que é difícil mastigar todo aquele conteúdo, aquilo vai demorar imenso tempo. Um, não podes ver os vídeos simplesmente por ver, tens que tomar anotações também, depois tens que aplicar tudo isso em tempo real nos gráficos que ele está a falar. Tens que fazer tipo rewind àquilo que ele está a falar naquele momento, mas bastou-me ver os vídeos dele e não estar depois ali com coisas a tentar ir ver outras coisas de outras pessoas que tentam ensinar de outra forma, ou de uma forma mais simplificada. Eu aconselho-te sempre a ir à origem, e a origem, pá, é o que tu tens, né? De melhor. Portanto, basta ires ao canal dele, ICT no YouTube, e também acompanhares o Twitter dele. Se acompanhares o Twitter dele, consegues Ele acaba por colocar lá muita coisa também no Twitter e pode ajudar às vezes a compreender certas coisas. Agora é muito difícil olhar para aquele conteúdo e digerir tudo aquilo, porque às vezes em vídeos de 2, 3 horas, e tens lá vídeos de 4 horas até, às vezes o que interessa são 20 minutos do vídeo. Mas se não fores tu a fazer esse trabalho por ti próprio, pá, ninguém o vai fazer por ti, acredita. Ahm, Portanto, isso eu já te respondi. Sim, olha, eu aconselho-te a mudar para futuros. É a mesma coisa. O mercado é tudo o mesmo, quer ele seja futuros, commodities, cripto, é tudo a mesma coisa. Aquilo que tu estás a ver são velas e tudo isto se repete. Portanto, não tenhas problemas em, epá, eu agora vou mudar para o ouro e não sei o que mais. Pode haver ligeiras diferenças, mas é tudo a mesma coisa. Aquilo que tu fazes no mercado de futuros é basicamente é um mercado muito mais regularizado e muito mais seguro. Pá, não tens estas maluqueiras de slippage e agora o broker de repente decide cortar-te acesso ao preço durante uns segundos e de repente o preço já está, sabe-se lá onde. Essas coisas não te acontecem com os futuros. Pá. Não tens esse problema com os futuros. Há algumas limitações, nomeadamente swing trading, que algumas empresas não fazem. Isto porque tens um interregno nos futuros. Isso depois o ICT também te explica. Há ali uma hora no dia em que o mercado fecha mesmo e só abre depois. Isso não existe em forex, nem existe em certas commodities. Mas de resto eu aconselho a fazer essa viragem para os futuros, porque só tens a ganhar com isso. Porque isso do slippage, isso é uma brincadeira que as corretoras fazem para irem buscar mais dinheiro, como é óbvio, e dos spreads e essas coisinhas todas, né? Daí eu me ter desassociado a essas coisas. Agora, claro, dá jeito para fazer swing trading, eu não sei o que mais, mas depois aí também já não tens de te preocupar tanto com comissões e spreads e essas coisas, né? Mas sim, aconselho-te a fazer essa, essa transferência de é apenas transferir, é mudar as plataformas, procurar as plataformas e não tens que estudar nada de diferente. É tudo a mesma coisa. É óbvio que há certas coisas e tu, se acompanhares aqui os meus lives, há aqui certas coisas que não acontecem ou que acontecem de outra forma nos pares de Forex, por exemplo, ou algo do género. Por exemplo, nós aqui nos futuros temos muito cuidado com as horas de abertura do mercado, por exemplo. O mercado abre às 9h30 da manhã em Nova York. Há uma pré-abertura às 8h30, abre à meia-noite novamente. Portanto, isto depois são níveis que te ajudam a compreender alguns movimentos e algumas flutuações do mercado. Por exemplo, isto também não existe em algumas coisas, os New Week Opening Gaps. Um, Isto porque o mercado em algumas coisas está sempre aberto, né? Por exemplo, cripto e essas coisas. Mas epá, são conceitos que tens que se calhar acrescentar àquilo que já sabes, mas a transição é feita de forma muito pacífica. So yeah, guys, I was talking a bit Portuguese. That's my mother language. Someone was asking me, Mateus was asking me about the futures market and the benefits of the futures market in comparison to other markets like forex and commodities and something like that. And resuming what I've said, I can say that yeah, just switch to futures. You will thank me later because you you will not deal with the broker system. The broker system it's just like a casino. They are meant to make money, so they will um, try to manipulate the spreads, the commissions, the slippage. They will try to maneuver the price, and that doesn't happen when you're playing with futures because there's only one institution regulating all the futures market. So if you if you are interested in futures, yeah, just move yourself to futures. You don't have to study anything else. Yeah, charts are charts, and candles are candles. They will be the same whatever you trade. I guess the only thing that can eventually trade a little bit differently from the whole spectrum of assets that you can trade, it's the crypto market. The crypto market is a bit, especially on the low time frames, it's a little bit different from everything that I've traded, but you can apply the same things on crypto as well. Mateus, olha, mais uma pergunta, né? Estás top, pá. Olha, primeiro, deixa-me dar-te os parabéns porque se tens apenas 20 anos e se já me estás a fazer estas questões, epá, louvo-te o sacrifício e louvo-te o sonho e louvo-te o desejo. Porque com 20 anos, pá, eu esta hora estava na praia. E não me estava a preocupar com nada disto. Portanto, louvo-te e dou-te aí um forte abraço por esse esforço que estás a fazer e por tentares concretizar algo que quase ninguém faz, né? Pronto. Isso é de facto algo que eu louvo da tua parte. Ainda para mais, já estudas isto há 3 anos, sim. Olha, respondendo-te então diretamente à pergunta, sim, é possível. É possível e tu, tendo os conceitos assimilados, tendo os conceitos, tendo um grupo de regras a trabalhar para com esses conceitos, sim, tu consegues fazer dinheiro de forma sistemática no mercado. Agora, tens que abordar o mercado de uma forma muito própria. E uma forma muito própria é ter regras que te dizem que, por exemplo, hoje, né, tendo o FOMC da parte da tarde, pá, tu se quiseres vir de manhã fazer trades na sessão da manhã, tens que ter a noção de que vais encontrar low probability conditions. Se tu tens low probability conditions, tu vais expor a tua conta a essas low probability conditions? Não. Então o que é que eu fiz hoje, por exemplo? Fiz switch para demo. Apesar de eu olhar para o preço e aquilo que ele está a fazer é tudo menos low probability conditions. Só que isto é uma questão probabilística. Nós sabemos que tudo no trading é probabilístico. Tu tens um setup e esse setup vai funcionar de acordo com uma probabilidade. Quantos mais trades tu fizeres, mais probabilidade, mais esse esquema de probabilidades começa a ser visível, né? Quanto menos tu fizeres e quanto menos tu insistires nos mesmos conceitos, menos resultados vais ter. Isso, portanto, aquilo que eu te indico e aquilo que eu te respondo a essa questão é tu tens que ter um setup, tens que ter um setup, isto é, um conceito, digamos assim, e depois esse conceito ou esse setup tem que ser replicável durante vários dias, que é dentro de certas condições. E depois, a partir daí, Red Folder News, sei lá, outros eventos, tens que te afastar um bocado do mercado. Estás a ver? Não podes estar sempre em cima do mercado. Tu vais conseguir fazer dinheiro de forma consistente, mas não é todos os dias. Vais ter losses, vais ter. Isso vai acontecer sempre. Não vais conseguir escapar a isso. Agora, num plano geral, num plano a longo prazo, sim, é possível. É possível fazer dinheiro, sem dúvida alguma. E quem te disser o contrário não sabe o que está a dizer. Pá, pronto, é aquilo que eu tenho para dizer à malta. Né? Quem disser que isto é tipo casino e não sei quem mais, não é. Não é. Não é porque trabalhamos com probabilidades exatas e se tu souberes sair do mercado em momentos em que a probabilidade é muito baixa ou que há alteração nessas probabilidades, como é, por exemplo, o dia do NFP, o dia do FOMC, que depois a ICT explica que esses são dias de, ele chama isso intervenção manual. Ele, ele diz que há algo que mexe no algoritmo, não se sabe muito bem o que é, mas quem sabe até pode ser um gajo que esteja lá nos bastidores a mexer no preço. Um, e aí sim as probabilidades não resultam, não contam, né? Se te souberes afastar desses momentos, pá, és profitable. Não tens, agora tens é que controlar em ti quando é que podes estar no mercado e quando é que não podes estar no mercado. E isso vai ditar grande parte das coisas daquilo que é um trader. Isso sem dúvida. Exatamente. Exatamente. É mais do que uma operação. Não podes só limitar isso a uma operação. Tens que limitar isso a uma amostra grande de operações. Mas sim, é possível. É possível fazer dinheiro. Agora vai-te demorar. Vai-te demorar a aprenderes os conceitos. Vai-te demorar a testá-los. Eu costumo dizer à malta que está nisto, isto é um curso de universidade. Isto é um curso de universidade que estás a tirar. Um curso de universidade demora em média 5 anos. Alguns até demoram mais tempo, não é? E depois ainda tens a parte prática no terreno, né? Parece que sais do curso mas não sabes nada. E isto é exatamente a mesma coisa. Portanto, conta com uma jornada longa de trabalho, ahm, mas se incidires essa jornada longa de trabalho só numa coisa e não andares, epá, estes primeiros 50 trades não funcionaram e agora vou ver outra coisa. Pá, esquece lá isso. E aí não vais andar sempre de um tipo de conceito para o outro tipo de conceito, epá, aí não vais chegar a lado nenhum. Tens que te agarrar a uma coisa e estudar isso até dominares isso. Pronto, basicamente. É como um pintor, por exemplo. Um pintor normalmente só usa um estilo artístico, uma forma de pintar, né? Não está ali a inventar várias. Ei, agora vou experimentar Picasso, depois vou experimentar Van Gogh. Não. A dado momento ele tem que deixar de experimentar e cingir-se apenas a uma forma de pintar. E às vezes até pode ser o estilo dele próprio, né? Olha, amigo, a minha história. A minha história, eu não. Nem sempre fui trader, como é óbvio, né? Eu neste momento tenho 39 anos. Um, fui, fui enfermeiro durante muitos anos e, e sempre tive um bichinho sobre o trading. Um, sempre tive um bichinho para com o trading. Um, e a dado momento percebi que a enfermagem é uma profissão muito bonita, mas a dado momento, e percebi isso com o Covid, no que pá, éramos. Foi uma época difícil, o Covid foi uma época difícil para os profissionais de saúde, foi uma época bastante exigente e foi essa época que me marcou como, como se fosse uma ruptura com a enfermagem. Ahm, achei que pá, não queria aquilo para o resto da minha vida. Amanhã vem outra pandemia, amanhã vem outra coisa, e um gajo pensa ali na linha da frente e isso pode trazer consequências, como é óbvio, né? E epá, foi isso que me. Desculpa lá. Foi, poxa, foi isso que me fez mudar aqui um bocadinho o chip, procurar um bocadinho mais sobre conceitos e sobre outras coisas que poderiam funcionar no mercado. Eu já tinha tentado algumas coisas, suporte de resistência, RSIs, EMAs, sei lá, uma data de coisas, pronto. Um, mas depois foi quando eu comecei eu comecei precisamente com o mentorship 2022 dele, do ICT, e pá, comecei a estudar aquilo a fundo. Depois, ele na altura fazia, entre 22 e 23, ele fazia tape reading. Aprendi muito com essas lives de tape reading dele, em que ele deixava apenas o mercado correr e ia relatando aquilo que estava a acontecer. Um, aprendi muito com essas lives dele. E a partir daí, pá, foi estudar, estudar, estudar. É óbvio que a dado momento um gajo começa a ver que epá, isto não funciona muito bem, perdi muito tempo a tentar outras coisas, a tentar também pá, ir buscar conceitos, outros conceitos, mas não à origem, um, à procura daqueles conceitos reciclados, né? Depois, o que é que aconteceu? Pá, comecei a aplicar as coisas, vi que ainda umas coisas até resultavam, e depois entrei nas prop firms, pá, isto das prop firms, em que pagas uma mensalidade ou pagas algo do género e tens acesso a um fundo que não interessa se é simulado ou se deixa de ser, isso não me interessa para nada. O que me interessa é que eles me paguem ao final do mês caso seja profitable e pronto. E a partir daí, olha, há pouco tempo acabei por decidir começar a fazer lives porque começava a haver um padrão em mim de desresponsabilidade, né? Um gajo depois também passas por estas fases quando começas a ficar um bocadinho mais à vontade com os conceitos, começas a tentar experimentar outras coisas e a ser um bocado irresponsável na forma como tentas fazer. Estas lives surgiram muito no sentido de tirar um bocadinho essa irresponsabilidade e comprometer-me também, estás a ver? Um bocado isso, tendo alguém, tendo público a olhar por mim, acabo por ser um bocadinho mais responsável e não dizer, epá, vou abrir aqui uma posição num instantinho e depois logo se vê. Um, Tendo público, um gajo acaba por se retrair um bocadinho mais sobre aquilo que está a fazer, né? Epá, e lá está, e estas lives acabam por surgir nessa medida. Yeah, Mark Douglas, yeah. Sim, Mark Douglas é um autor que eu também já li, pá, já li os livros, o livro dele, pronto, né, Trading in the Zone. Um, mas se queres um livro muito bom, que aborda muito, deixa-me ver se eu tenho aqui, eu acho que eu tenho aqui, que aborda muito os problemas do trading e os problemas que tu tens, não é com setups nem nada disso, porque isso é a parte mais fácil do trading. O que é difícil depois é gerir basicamente o lado emocional, não é? E a malta normalmente diz, e tal, tens é que tens é que calar o teu emocional e tens que restringir-te. Não, eu acho que é um bocadinho o contrário. O contrário disto, tens que ouvir as emoções e tens que ouvir aquilo que o teu corpo está a sentir e aquilo que o teu ego ou aquilo que o teu subconsciente está a suspirar, né? E isso, olha, tenho aqui este que só há em inglês, pronto, aqui, yeah, é isto aqui, yeah. The Mental Game of Trading. The Mental Game of Trading é um livro muito interessante. É um livro muito interessante que fala sobre muitos erros que nós fazemos um, enquanto traders e ajuda-te muito. E ajuda-te muito a desenvolver os mecanismos para não cair, por exemplo, nesses mesmos erros, né? Sim, a intuição é. Uh, a intuição é daquelas coisas que são um indicador e que tens que saber ouvir, porque a dado momento a intuição vai falar contigo e se tu fores bom ouvinte, pá, essa intuição normalmente não te leva a um mau local, normalmente não. Leva-te a um bom local, normalmente. Agora, se fores um gajo que te está constantemente a ignorar o que a intuição te está a dizer, pá, aí vais ter problemas, já. Mas sim, resume-se basicamente a isto, pá. É uma jornada, Mateus, e se tu queres de facto vingar nisto, pá, sim. Guarda os próximos anos da tua vida para ser profitable, basicamente. E depois, a partir do momento em que és profitable, vais ter que. Porque normalmente é sempre em demo, como a pessoa começa, né? Vais ter que passar isso para o real. E depois o real vais ver que tens outras dificuldades. E assim sucessivamente. Portanto, é um up and down. Mas o que o que conta de facto é que esse up and down seja sempre positivo. Dás dois passos para cima e depois dás um para baixo, e dois passos para cima outra vez, um para baixo, e sempre assim, dessa forma. Portanto, é basicamente isto. Pois, amigo, isso aí é muito vendedor de curso. Muito vendedor de curso, muito vendedor de outras coisas, né? De outras coisas, pá, eu, como tu vês, as minhas redes sociais, nada, pá, não vendo nada, não é de facto esse o meu objetivo por enquanto. O meu objetivo por enquanto é manter-me profitable e manter um curso, e manter um curso, pá, ascendente na cena de ser trader. E depois um dia, quem sabe, eventualmente, alargar, porque alargar o espectro de income, né? Porque, ok, o trading é uma boa forma de income, mas se fores um bom trader, és um bom investidor e os bons investidores dizem sempre, ahm, atenção, vai rodando as tuas fontes de rendimento, não ponhas tudo na mesma cesta, né? Portanto, as tuas fontes de rendimento também não devem surgir só do trading, devem surgir de outras coisas. E as redes sociais às vezes são boas alavancas para isso, como é óbvio. E eu compreendo aquela malta que está a vender cursos e que está a vender conceitos e que está a vender isto e aquilo. Eu compreendo perfeitamente, como é óbvio, né? Ahm, Porque é mesmo assim, um banco também não trabalha só com o nosso dinheiro, não é? Para além destes investimentos, também vai comprando terrenos, também vai comprando casas, ahm, também vai comprando outras coisas. Não trabalha só com dinheiro, não faz apenas investimentos, não compra só ações. Portanto, pá, é totalmente legítimo a malta vender cursos e vender essas coisas porque estão a fazer pela vida deles, como é óbvio. E isso, pá, só tenho a valorizar, digamos assim, né? Um, yeah. O income deve ser sempre. Imagina, por exemplo, tu até és trader, né? Até as coisas até funcionam e não sei o que mais, mas amanhã, isto é, como é óbvio, como é óbvio, é um, é um exemplo muito extremo da coisa, não é? Mas imagina que amanhã tens um problema na visão que te impede de estar ao computador. Como é que tu vais fazer? Não é? Tens que ter um plano B. E o plano B pode ser passar por vender o teu knowledge, passar por vender, sei lá, outras coisas, ou outros investimentos, ou algo assim do género, né? Tal e qual. Acho muito bem, pá. E olha, mais uma vez, louvo a tua idade, porque de facto não é qualquer um com 20 anos, era como eu estava a dizer, eu com 20 anos nem sequer não olhava para gráficos, eu queria ir à praia e pronto, né? E estava a tirar o curso de enfermagem, na altura era esse o meu foco. Mas quanto mais cedo tu conseguires, melhor ainda, né? Isso louvo-te o esforço e o sonho, não é? Porque normalmente uma pessoa não tem ninguém com quem falar sobre isto, não tem ninguém com quem ahm, ter alguém como exemplo. Isto é algo que é relativamente recente, principalmente no nosso país e eventualmente a Europa, não é? Porque o português sempre teve português e o europeu sempre teve uma aversão ao investimento e tudo o que implique risco. Portanto, isto é mais para a malta das Américas, digamos assim. Portanto, mais uma vez, louvo, de facto. Louvo, de facto, a tua consistência, pá, e a procura de algo, né? Exatamente. So yeah, guys, I've been talking a little bit in Portuguese. I have a Portuguese mate here named Mateus. Welcome, welcome in English. Yeah, he's been talking to me about my journey, um, about different types of investments. Uh, yeah, I talked about the mental trading of the mental game of trading. I mean, the mental game of trading, which is a nice book, and I prefer this one to the other one. I forgot for a minute. Uh, Trading in the Zone from Mark Douglas. Yes, I prefer this one. I think this is a more accurate one. And it has it defines and it talks about some things that trading in the zone does not. Um, so yeah, I've been talking to Mateus a bit. I will just answer him here once again. So sim, Mateus, está à vontade. Pá, manda mensagem e um gajo vai falando também. Sem problema. So yeah, guys, it's been a journey, honestly, and just like this retrace to the downside, as you can see, right? So yeah, so far the fair value gap is holding. My stop is right above break even, so I'm kind of with no pressure. I have no pressure on this trade. As you can see here, prices it came back to the OT levels here on the 62. It's retracing back to the 79% as well. Retracing the full length of the fair value gap here, and I might be stopped out here on a wick to the downside, but yeah, I'm content with it, and this was indeed a nice trade with almost no drawdown here, as you can see, and I took partials right at the top here as well, so this is no coincidence, as you can see here. There's a lot of concepts behind it, and yeah, the only thing that is missing is really crystal ball to see what price wants to do next, but we don't have it, so we just have to work with what we have. So yeah, guys, it's been I guess I'm stretching a bit this this session, this stream session. Yeah, I will end it here, guys. It was nice to have a talk with Mateus. Thank you, Mateus, for being here. Yeah, you can DM me, and there's no problem with it. I will try to answer you as soon as I can. But yeah, it was a nice stream today. I will not say that it is unfortunate that I did not play this on the combine, as you can see here, but it is what it is. I prefer to stay disciplined to my protocol and miss this move, and knowing that I still know how to read price, but not taking the risk on a real account or combine or funded. Yeah, I said from the beginning that I would not trade anything real, so that's why I'm demo trading, and I'm content with it, and I'm honestly content with myself because I could have switched it to funded, but I did not. So being disciplined, it's the most difficult thing that a trader can be, and I guess I did a good job on it today, so that's why I'm congratulating myself to. So yeah, guys, I will end this stream. It's taking a little bit longer since I was talking with Mateos here. Um, have a nice afternoon. I will probably not be here uh, whenever FOMC hits. I'm not telling you what I'm expecting for FOMC because yeah, FOMC can be very tricky, just like NFP. The only thing that I'm telling you guys is to do not do anything in between 2 and 2:30, and try to evaluate what has price been doing in between 2 and 2:30. If you have a down range here, something that price is doing, imagine that price FOMC started and it's yeah coming down, then you will probably search for something to go higher as soon as 230 hits. And you can eventually expect the vice versa option as well. So keep that in mind, and yeah, stay safe. Do not try to full port on FOMC news. And I hope to see you tomorrow, eventually at the same time, 9:15, 9:20 New York AM time. And yeah, thank you very much, and hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you. Have a nice day and a nice afternoon as well. Thank you.